Hello, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. On deck, we've got what should be a great matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
We are just across the Allegheny River from downtown Pittsburgh at rain-soaked Heinz Field in the Steel City. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Detroit Lions and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The calendar has turned to December, and we're in the home stretch now as we're underway in Week 13. This fielded at the 2. And he'll bring it a few past the 23-yard line. First time with Johnson. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. Second down.
How about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield, and spills the play.
And he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. The sack by T.J. Watt, or as his mother Connie calls him, Trent Jordan Watt. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation. From the gun, here's Stafford. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. T.J. Watt in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. Switzer on the return. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. So here are the Steelers now to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by a man who's becoming an elder statesman among quarterbacks in the league, drafted back in 2004. It's Ben Roethlisberger.
And what a game he is coming off of.
Oh, unbelievable.
Absolutely. And you know how much I love the history of the game. He broke a record held by the Dutchman,
Norm Van Brocklin,
right? You got to go all the way back to 1951, and he threw for 554 yards in that game. And later, won a championship as a quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles in 1960.
And now that record has been set anew. They'll try a little trickery here on the end around. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Here's Roethlisberger. He'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there. Throwing now, Roethlisberger on 1st down. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete. Coverage there by Von Bell.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
And this may be a carbon copy as he'll again be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Johnson with a burst, a first down or more. And he's finally down at the 21-yard line. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first. First catch of this game, a big one. Of course, he had the big performance last week when he was AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, but that was so last week, wasn't it? I mean, look at what he's doing now. I think he's trying to exceed what he did in that game and continue.
And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked off inside the 10. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week. 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. He was trying to find Marvin Jones that time, and that'll bring up second down. And now the offense for Detroit.
So let's all work together on this one because it's natural to just watch the football. But I want all of us to watch the center of this offensive line, the center and the 2 guards. They've got to be able to control the point of attack, and they didn't do such a good job on that last play. Plenty of opportunities to redeem themselves. They'll have to take advantage of that and start.
And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. T.J. Watt able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. They'll run it with Johnson. And he gets it up to the 10-yard line here. Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. And now it's the punter Weil on as he sends this one away. Here's Switzer. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
The numbers there for Connery in last week's game. 15 carries, 52 yards.
Are we playing old school football now? We've got a top 10 rusher in the league. He's sitting at number 10, but he has a chance to move up with a big-time game. So expect that offensive line every time they go to the bench and tell the offensive coordinator, let's run the football.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And that ball's going to angle out at the 3-yard line. A beauty. Back out is Matthew Stafford in the Lions offense. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. They begin the drive with Johnson. And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Faking the give to Johnson. Now it's Stafford. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. A gain there of 30 big ones.
Press coverage on the outside, and for defenders, that's the ultimate risk-reward. If you take the risk, can you reward yourself by keeping them on the line of scrimmage? But no, not on that one. Got to step on them. Now it's just a matter of laying the ball out there for him to go get it.
So that play much needed there as they're all the way up near the 40 for a 1st and 10. They'll try the jet sweep here. And he's got a first field. And he's got it across the 50 to the 47-yard line. It's a gain of 14 and a 1st down for Detroit.
And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, how about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys who can't move, and more guys who are a lot more mobile and can get out in front of that type of a play.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. They'll get 17 that time, and the Lions have a 1st down.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Look pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Here's Johnson. The numbers for Johnson in last week's game, 14 carries and even 60 yards and a touchdown.
So he scored his 8th touchdown on the ground last week, and most guys I know, they want to get in the round numbers. So, 10 is really the goal, and this is one sport where being selfish and scoring touchdowns is a good thing. Look for he and the offense to try and get him in there at least twice in this game.
Under 10, under 10, 10.
On 2nd down, Johnson. And some strong running. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Mark that as a gain of 16 to set him up 1st and goal.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive they went 3 and out.
The Lions into the red zone for the first time. They've got it 1st and goal at the 6. Now it's Stafford. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
Get your backs to the goal line. I can hear my high school coach right now. This is when force meets force. Got to be physical in order to win this battle.
Yeah, that's where the physicality pays off. A nice job forcing the contact and forcing the incompletion.
Yeah, Coach Ford would have loved that play.
If you're going to run against this unit, especially down here, just beware. I mean, they're the top rushing defense in the league.
Yeah, and then they go ahead and they double down with the whole thing because you think, okay, let's throw the ball. Oh, yeah, that's right. They defend.
Well, he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. T.J. Hockenson, his first touchdown on the year, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. And the kick makes it through, but flags come flying in as well. It appears we're going to get a roughing call tacked on.
Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
He's going to air one out. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd and short. Charles, he doesn't seem to be particularly in tune with his receivers, just 2 for 7 throwing the football, but he did seem really locked in before the game.
Yeah, and that has to do with receivers sometimes. Sometimes the defenders knock them off their routes. and you're usually pretty precise. 1, 2, 3 cut, balls out of his hands to the receiver. In this case, might be off by a half step either way. They've got to find a way to get back in sync.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Let's go, tackle. Let's go. We got this. We got this.
Play fake to Connor. Now Roethlisberger going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver that time. That'll bring up 2nd down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
The throw over the middle taken in. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A gain there of 30 big ones. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. There's Roethlisberger to throw. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. 2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. On 2nd down, Connor looking for space. And not much running room. Down to the 32.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And that hits the right upright and caroms away. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So kind of a tough break there. No real hook or slice to that one, but he's denied by the upright. Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Things progressing to plan so far. Their defense has been solid, and they've got themselves a 7-0 lead after the touchdown the last time they had the ball.
And this is no time to even think about, hey, are we going to milk the clock? Hey, are we just going to do ball control? This is the NFL. 7-0 leads, they don't last very long unless you continue to push the envelope on offense.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson. After getting stuffed on 1st down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Back to throw, Stafford. You and I watched film yesterday, and you told me to watch his feet. Well, for whatever reason, his footwork just looked off on that throw.
And you always love it when the next defensive back talks quarterback mechanics, right?
Well, but you're good at it.
Well, I try, all right? I don't know how good I am, but it doesn't take much to tell. His mechanics are off a little bit, exactly what you described. Footwork, that led to the incompletion.
It's a 47-yard punt, but they did give up 10 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Juju Smith-Schuster and the rest of this offense heading back out there. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? 2nd quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us, but sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. On 2nd down now. It's Connor, and he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down, pick it up, and keep moving.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know, there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. Now it's Roethlisberger. Johnson with a burst, a first down or more. And he takes it all the way up to the 47. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there. 2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
We get slap happy up here sometimes. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. First down now, but that clock rolling.
Check back 27. Check back 27.
On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. They were looking for Johnson that time, but it's going to be 2nd down. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over, then they get a chance to continue their drive.
A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
Not a whole lot of room to maneuver there, and I think that's because everyone took care of their responsibilities, filled their gaps, held their place. No place for him to run.
And look good. Everything got funneled to the nose tackle. They swallowed him up. They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on 3rd down. This is Johnson. He's got it. And they move this all the way down to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. You know, when I see passes like that, I'm reminded of something you and I talked about yesterday. Big Ben was a wide receiver the first 3 years of high school, sitting behind the coach's son. And then he finally got that opportunity. I think he's made the most of it.
It's always the coach.
And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Deontay Johnson, his 9th touchdown of the season, as they are now on the board here in the first half.
After nearly 30 minutes of football, that touchdown puts us in a position where if they make the extra point, we're right back to even before we start the second half.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. And Detroit getting set to go now. And we're under a minute to go here in what's been an even first half, all tied up.
Yeah, still time to make something happen, too. A couple completions, just string them together. Could get into field goal range. Let's see what happens.
They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. The last run got 9. That leaves them with 2nd and a yard. Now Stafford toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. Here's Matt Weil now. He's been terrific so far. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. It'll be a 48-yard punt. 5 there on the return. And there'll be time for maybe halftime. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Time here for likely one play, and then these two teams will head to the locker room all even.
And you know the play caller's just feeling it right now. Let's go ahead and go for this one. A big shot downfield. Nope. Guarantee the head coach is like, don't get crazy. Take the knee. Let's get out of here. Tie game. We'll just start all over.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Things definitely getting interesting around the NFL as we begin the month of December. So let's get right to it. We'll begin up at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, where it was the Ravens who get the win at home. Lamar Jackson, 4 touchdown passes in the victory. From there, we head up to Foxborough to check on the Patriots at home at Gillette Stadium. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Buffalo Bills. 2 touchdown passes there for Mitchell Trubisky. Lastly, let's head to Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. See what's happening with the Bengals. And they were losers in their ball game as they were outplayed by the visiting New York Jets. The final, 26-14. Meanwhile, in our game, each team able to manage just 1 touchdown apiece. 7-7 is our score. And for the call of the second half, we send it back to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This one fielded at the 5. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. Again, it's Connor, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
A dime look defensively for the Lions on third.
Man left. Hey. You got 3.
From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. Able to find Switzer. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a first down.
Some think the teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
And he's got this down to the 35. Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a first down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Now Roethlisberger. That's complete to his running back, Connor. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Vance McDonald, the tight end, was the target, and it's third down.
Black 20. Check tight.
Throwing again, it's Roethlisberger. Yeah, that one's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Knocking it away there defensively, Justin Coleman.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
And now they're going to go for it. This isn't 4th and inches. This is 4th and 14. They'll try and throw for it with Roethlisberger. Complete. It's Johnson. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. It'll be a gain of 17 and a Pittsburgh first. Boy, that's some kind of effort. When he caught it, I doubted if he could get there. Knew it was going to be close, but credit him. Really good effort.
How about the rack on that play, the run after catch? But most of the time we think of it as just being an open field and picking up yardage. Sometimes you have to be real physical in order to gain the yardage you need for a first down.
A run with counter on first down, going to get about 5. 2nd and 5 coming up. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end.
Let's go, Heavy. Heavy, what you got? What you got?
On 2nd down, it's Snell. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Count me as a little bit surprised by what we just saw there, because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like the offensive line let them down a little bit.
They allowed the penetration and the ability to stuff them for a loss. A field goal would get them the lead, but that's not what they're shooting for as they come up on 3rd down. Now Roethlisberger to throw. And it's caught. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Juju Smith-Schuster with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Steelers have taken the lead. Well for the extra point. And this is no good. It's a missed extra point. Boy, in a tight game, how important might that turn out to be here as the second half rolls along? Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. This is fielded a couple yards deep. Powerful running. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Here's a quick throw complete to Galladay. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right?
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. T.J. Watt, who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And he deserves a as he gets this one away. A 47-yard punt, maybe a couple on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Juju Smith-Schuster and the rest of this offense heading back out there. Pretty good game for him so far. I guess he's still got time here to make this a great game, but so far, he's been solid.
I like where you're going with that because it has been pretty good, but there's always that hint that things can really escalate for him. And right now, they feel like they're somewhat keeping him in check, but he has found the end zone once. But, boy, he can explode at any moment.
Yeah, and when you hit that end zone once, you want to find it again, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Makes you hungrier.
You get greedy in a good way.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Roethlisberger. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked by Tracy Walker. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line.
Okay, partner, no surprise to you. I'm going to look at this from the defensive perspective. In the rain, you have to be more cautious trying to cover passing routes. Why? The offense knows where they're going with the football. The receiver knows the route he's going to run. You have to make sure you keep your footing underneath you.
And this play goes nowhere, losing yardage back to the 15. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. They go to Johnson again. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. They only got a couple on that one, so not a ton of help. They'll have a 3rd and 8 forthcoming. Throwing on 3rd down, Stanford. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And he's got this inside the 10 to the 9 before he's out of bounds.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. One score down, here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Here we go on 4th. Stanford. And no, it's incomplete. John Harbaugh not afraid to go for it this time. Doesn't work out. And this Steeler defense able to come up with a stop. And he'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on 4th down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. You know, I've seen, you and I both been to practices where we've seen, hey, 3rd down situation, big 3rd down alert, lock in here. 4th down play, make sure you focus just a little bit extra. It didn't pay off in that situation.
On 2nd and 9, Roethlisberger. His throw incomplete. I think you'd have to say defensively, these guys are doing their job pretty well, right?
Yeah, we talked about them holding them under 20 points, right, on defense. And they've done that. They've held them. The problem is their own offense hasn't answered their challenge, which was to score more.
Yeah, exactly. I remember you saying magic number was right around 20, and the offense has been the issue. You're right. That catch puts him over 70 yards receiving now as he's got a 1st down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
On 1st and 10 is Connor. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Roethlisberger throwing complete to McDonald. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And the Steelers on 3rd down. They've been really good, converting 7 of their 10 tries. This is 3rd and 9. He gets this one to Johnson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler 1st. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Throwing now. Roethlisberger on first down. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
So second down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Roethlisberger will hand to Connor. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13. But that looked like an example of what you said back in the first half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
Right back to Connor here on first. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
I know they've got to be careful not to go to the well too often, but it's a fine line, isn't it? Because sometimes, if you get success, you want to just keep pounding away.
But no success there. They rallied quickly on the defensive end. Now this pass to Vance McDonald complete, and they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run. Defensively, they're okay with that. Short little route, tackle him inbounds. Okay.
All right, cliche alert. It's time for someone to make a play because they've got to have something bigger downfield. They can't just take what they give them. They've got to force it and make something big happen for them.
And he'll take this one down near the 15. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, big man with ball met bigger man on the other side of the line. A really nice play for the defense.
On second down, it's Connor. He stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14. Now, the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession, so they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Deontay Johnson, his 10th touchdown of the season, 2nd of the game. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead.
Well, that was absolutely ideal for them, wasn't it? Trying to salt this game away. I think one of my kids just graduated in the amount of time they had the football. That was absolutely impressive.
Everybody wants those salt away the game drives. What makes them successful?
Well, when you're able to mix run-pass, when you're able to control the football and stay ahead of the chains, I'm using every cliche I know, but that's how you get it done because you're not taking negative plays, and that way you're able to run what you want to run when you get a chance to call it.
A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and the lead now stands at 13. So that one a 13-play drive in total, and it ends with the Steelers finding the end zone. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is fielded at the goal line. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line.
Let's go.
Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do.
And the ball is out. Jones got hit and lost it. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line.
Face mask. Defense.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they're march off another 15 against your squad.
So the face mask puts them in even better shape than they were in, as they'll have a short field here on 1st and 10. They try and run on 1st down, but this one going to lose a couple yards as they get him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that'll make it 2nd and 12.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there, and now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more 1st down to help salt this one away. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. And quickly we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the right hash, it's a 38-yard attempt. And Boswell's kick is good. And that will swell the lead to 16. So they settle for just the 3. But clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off. But it's still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
This is taken at the 3. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. So Stafford and the Lions now down by 16. A minute 45 to play. And they're in danger of a 3rd straight loss as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Stafford, open man, he's got him, the tight end Hockenson. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Brandon, they didn't get everything.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. From the gun, here's Stafford. And that will be incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. Here's Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. T.J. Watt and the Steelers, they're going to take over an excellent field position. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
They'll run on 1st down. Connor. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down. And the Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. Roethlisberger will throw. And that going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
They'll try and run forward with Connor. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. Now Chris Boswell for the Steelers field goal try. This to make it a 3-score game late. Oh, he left this one out to the right. That's a bad miss. No good. And this score will stay right where it is. So without making excuses, you have to figure that this rain has had an impact now on both of his. Missed field goals.
It's one of those situations really difficult to practice for and tough to prepare yourself against. It's just a whole different animal kicking in the rain, and we've really seen him struggle.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on fourth, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to get a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows a coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say, maybe makes that offense feel good, but when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, Ron, and maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. T.J. Watt in there to get him again. That is sack number 6, one off the NFL record of 7. Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete.
Okay, partner, hyperbole alert, all right? I think that this has got to be the best game I've seen this secondary play this entire season. Doesn't matter whether they've been in man, zone, they've reacted, communicated, and really made plays on the football.
They absolutely have. And the play on that last deep ball, maybe the best example of it, they've been solid all game long. Now it's Stafford. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Cam Hayward, always a force, got back there for the sack. But down 2 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to go for it. They must have thought they had a play to dial up that they could get it. It didn't work out.
They must have thought, as you pointed out, they had a play, and they were probably looking at the number of possessions that they thought were left in the game. And down 2 scores, they must have felt they couldn't.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Touchdown. Ryan Switzer, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Extra point now by Boswell. And that PAT pushes the lead up to 23 now. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play left. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. They are, by the way, into the fourth quarter now in Oakland. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that, and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team, and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. The Steelers are winners as we say so long from Heinz Field.